how to stop stuttering, how to overcome your stutter. This is your full guide. Now, if I really went in depth in terms of the intricacies and delved into every single point in depth, which I will in a future video, we're going to be looking at a 2-hour, 2.5-hour video. So this is going to be a condensed version for my new subscribers, for people that suffer from stuttering on a daily basis. And listen, it's not even just for those that have a stutter, it's for those that suffer from severe anxiety. If you suffer from social anxiety, anxiety in general, this video is going to be a massive benefit to you. And the reason why I'm making this, as I speak on multiple occasions on my channel, I speak from personal experience and I speak from people in my close circle and what I learn from in terms of education, from doctors, physicists, scientists, the podcasts that I listen to, and obviously documenting my journey. But this specifically hits close to home, because before I delve into the complete video, I'm going to give you briefly background of my story when it comes to stuttering. At the age of 5, I had a terrible stutter, and my parents, they took me to a specialist, and I had speech therapy. And at the time, it genuinely worked. When you have a stutter, the number one recommendation, if you ask anyone in public, is go to a speech therapist, right? We have something called the NHS here, the National Health Service, which is free of charge. You can also pay private and go to a specialist. And the tricks and gimmicks that at the time she helped me with, it actually helped me overcome my stutter. But that's where the problem lied. It was tricks, gimmicks, and techniques that was only a short-term solution. It was a paper over the crack sort of moment. And for a decade it lasted. I went to school, I had friends, I had extracurricular activities, I did sports, I spoke to family, I spoke 2 languages, I still speak 2 languages, and everything was smooth sailing. Until I hit age 16, 17, and my stutter gradually started to come back. And what I realized was my stutter wasn't from genetics, it wasn't from DNA, it stemmed from my anxiety. It stemmed from my poor mental health. It stems from social anxiety. Now, of course, there are different types of stutter, but mine in particular was because of anxiety. Essentially, what you have is you have 2 types of stutter. And the reason why this video will help you is because the tricks and gimmicks may be a temporary short-term solution, but what I'm giving you is an authentic way to overcome your stutter in an authentic manner, because I seeked a stuttering mentor who helped me overcome my stutter in a natural, authentic manner. Essentially, there are 2 types of stutter. The first one is the one that I had, which is you have a natural block. Let's say you don't say anything for a while, you're nervous, you're in this anxious state, and you're meeting a stranger, you're in a public interview, you're approaching a good-looking girl, or you're just in a public setting. My issue was I couldn't say my name, and I stuttered a lot. If it was certain words, complicated words, I couldn't say it. I felt embarrassed. I used to stutter even just last year, 2 years ago, just trying to pronounce my name. And essentially the first type of stutter is you have a natural block. No matter how hard you try, you just have this mental block. You can't actually say it. You're just like, you're sort of stuck. It's like a mental prison, right? That's the first type of stutter, and that is the one that I had, okay? You can't say certain words, and you sit there and you feel terrible because the guy or woman is asking for your name, putting their hand out or giving you a hug, and you're there like, and they're thinking, have you forgotten your name? Like, well, what's wrong with this guy? It was terrible. And there were so many occasions like that, so many occasions where, even just saying certain things, if everyone would stare at me, let's say around the table, and I would do sort of a monologue or explain something, I'd just be stuttering all over the place. It was horrific. The second type of stutter is you elongate words. You don't have a block, but when you say something, you'll be like, so, right? As you saw there, I elongated the O. You'll elongate certain words, okay? Now, that's the 2 types of stutter. So anyone that stutters will have one of those, okay? Now, the one that I had specifically, and a lot of people have, and there is a rare case where it isn't related to anxiety, but especially with my one, it does relate to anxiety. It stems from that. It stems from poor mental health. As a result, you practice bad habits and you have a lot of anxiety. So essentially, if you lock yourself in, if you isolate yourself, you don't go out in social situations, you don't push yourself in your comfort zone, what ends up happening is you're afraid. You have a lot of fear. You're afraid of people. You're afraid of these states, these situations, and you push it out, you postpone, you run away from it. You don't attack fear, you run away from fear. And as time goes on with repetition, as you keep avoiding, this only gets worse, okay? So essentially, the first step, as scary as it is, if you have a stutter, is you need to reframe the mind. It's a mindset. There is no such thing as ever overcoming your stutter. And I know I may have titled that video in a certain way, but hear me out. Even with someone like me, you'll always stutter here and there. Get rid of this mindset, this mentality of, I need to be stutter free 100% of the time. I need to be pitch perfect. No. What you need to achieve is happiness and confidence within yourself. To understand that if I do end up stuttering in this scenario, I don't have shame or guilt inside of me. I'm perfectly okay. I know who I am. I believe in myself. It is not a problem. The issue you have right now is you are here in terms of how you perceive yourself. You perceive someone who's stutter free up here. So when someone is fluent and they're perfect, you think they are your superior. So you get nervous and you stutter more, and then you go home and you feel terrible about yourself. The aim, first of all, is to reframe the mindset. And this comes with taking action and coming out of your comfort zone and realizing that there's nothing to worry about. It's coming to here or even here. Perceiving yourself much more, your own opinion is much more important than someone else's opinion. The moment that flips, then you won't care if you stutter. And then actually, ironically, your stutter will decrease. That is the bottom line, is pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, taking action, understanding that it's okay to stutter, right? Enabling, accepting yourself, accepting for who you are. It's part of your identity. It's not an issue, doesn't make you less of a person. And what will happen is once you accept that, once you understand that it's okay and there's nothing to be afraid of, your stuttering will decrease. At the moment before, you're trying to be perfect. You're trying to give this facade, this image that I don't stutter, I'm fluent. You put more pressure, and what's happening is there's tension in your body, and then you stutter even more. So it's just negative perpetual cycle. So as I alluded to that point, you have to push yourself and go out of your comfort zone. Now there's two specific things that you can do right away that are not overnight fixes, but they will certainly help you with your stutter. Number one is breathing exercises. Now the one that really helps is if you're in a sort of anxious situation and let's say you're in a nervous state, you're about to enter into a room full of people, or public speaking, or a job interview that you're nervous about, an assessment day, or this really good looking girl that you want to approach. 2 quick breaths in, you inhale, and then a deep exhale. This is something I learned from Dr. Andrew Huberman in one of his podcasts. If you're in a really anxious state, do those breathing exercises regularly, but don't just rely on those. You need to be meditating, and there's specific special breathing exercises that you can do. This is something that I will delve in a separate video, okay? There's other breathing exercises that I would recommend, but I'll delve into that in a separate video. The second thing you need to be doing is you need to be journaling every night. Now you may sit there and go, how the hell is this going to help me overcome my stutter? And that's what I thought. I promise you, half of the thing that helped me overcome my stutter, so to speak, and helped me reach here was journaling my thoughts. Now a lot of people say, how do I journal? Okay, this is how I journal. Number one, you do it at the end of the day and you write down how your day went. Go into a little bit of depth. How did the day go? Then you write down how you feel. When you put it pen to paper, you feel a lot more relaxed. This is what you need. You're releasing the tension out of your body. What you are happy you did today, what you need to improve upon, how you are feeling in the moment. Every negative emotion, every positive emotion, you write this all down. You jot all of this down. You should be journaling for about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, what you want to improve the next day, the actions that you need to take, the action that you took that day. What are you proud of yourself about? And as you keep doing this, you start instilling confidence in yourself, and this will help you overcome your stutter. Do not skip this step. Okay, I'm telling you now, if you journal properly for a sustained period of time, along with breathing exercises, which is meditating, doing the exercise that I just gave you that was recommended by Andrew Huberman, and actually reframing the mindset, taking action, doing the things that make you scared, and building that confidence so that you perceive yourself in a more positive light. These are small steps that will help you overcome your stutter. None of these are quick fixes, and nothing in life that's worth having is an overnight fix. Absolutely not. You have to be willing to put the work in. Now the final thing is building your masculine frame. What do I mean by that? Now a lot of guys, especially if you have a stutter, you don't have any frame whatsoever, and that's me being blunt and it could be harsh, but that is the truth. You have zero frame. For example, you approach a beautiful looking woman, especially if you have a stutter. You are speaking at 100 miles an hour. You go up to her, you're scared of stuttering, so you want to say your thing and dip. Right? The fact that you even went over there is a massive achievement for you anyway. So you're going over there, you're speaking at 100 miles an hour, right? And then you dip. You're going into her frame. And that is a massive turn off for her. That is very unattractive. And not only that, because you're in her frame, you are speaking quicker, which actually means you will stutter a lot more. This is what you don't realize. What you need to do is build your masculine frame. And you do this by meditating, breathing exercises, journaling, reframing the mind, the mindset, changing the opinion about yourself, the self-limiting beliefs that you have, constantly looking to improve and take action. Okay, you build your masculine frame and you speak slower. You speak slower. I cannot stress to you how much this helps when it comes to overcoming your stutter. You have to speak slower. Take some deep breaths in and speak slower. Right? Pause. Don't say and Pause. Speak. Think of the most successful people you think of. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, CEOs of multi-billion-dollar companies. Does Jeff Bezos speak like this? Yes, I'm going to drink some water now, and after this I'm going to shut the door and then leave the house and then go for a walk in the park. No. He speaks slowly. He speaks like a professional. Professional people speak slowly, and especially if you have a stutter, you will speak slower. You are in your masculine frame, you are speaking slower, and that will help you because you collect your thoughts and that will reduce the stuttering. Okay? So when you speak to a beautiful looking girl, and I don't care if she's speaking quickly, you remain in your frame, which is a hard thing to do, but you remain in your frame. And that, if anything, that will be a turn on for her. That will be attractive for her because you're not bending over backwards to her demands. You are remaining in your frame, confident in the person that you are, and then she comes into your frame because you are speaking slower. Now, I hope this helps. Again, these are the tips and points that help me overcome my stutter. Once again, this is not an overnight process. These things take time, but I promise you, it pushes you in the right direction. This is the first step. Later on down the line, as my channel grows 6 months, a year, I'll make a 2-hour-long video mentioning every point that I've mentioned here, but going into each one in depth, giving you exactly the breathing techniques and exercises, breaking it down, maybe even give an example of what I've journaled, right? But if I did that now, that would be a 2-hour-long video. So this is a condensed version, but later on, I'll give you a more full, in-depth, detailed one. But that is exactly how it helped me reduce my stutter, be confident in who I am, and so overcome my stuttering, which as a result also reduced my anxiety, because that's what it is. My stutter was simply related to my social anxiety, related to my anxiety. Leave me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. If you did enjoy, don't forget to smash the like button, and I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.